Starfleet Academy, episode 8. The crew is still dealing with the trauma of what happened a couple episodes ago that I forgot.
2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago. The trauma. Crew members were lost. Minds were melded. They're dealing with the trauma. And how do they deal with it? Well, they brought in a new instructor to tell them about theater. That's right. Theater will help them ease their feelings, which are quite hurt. I don't know if this first of all, watching this series is like being in hospice.
Yeah. By the way,
One of
sorry to
your
interrupt you,
favorite
but
IPs.
do you understand who the instructor is?
He is from a different show I didn't watch.
Yes. Okay, good.
Please explain it to me, Alan. Tell me
She's
the rest of.
She's from Star Trek Discovery, a show I only saw 3 episodes, but I remember this character from it, and I'm not sure, A, how she is in this time period, and B, how she has not aged.
Well, also, I can't explain how she has. This was distracting. In the episode, this character has really bad skin and blemishes.
Yeah.
They try to cover with makeup, and maybe my TV is too good.
I saw it too.
In 4K. I'm like, am I the only? This is distracting. Mainly it's because I could care less what's happening in the series, but her bad skin was very noticeable.
I watched it on my phone and I could see it.
Really? Okay. I
Yeah.
watched it on my 4K TV and it looked awful. I felt bad for the actress. Not her fault. Maybe she was nervous. Maybe she was eating too much chocolate. I can't say what made her break out, but she clearly had broken out and the makeup was not helping. It could not cover those blemishes. But I'll just say that this series is like watching every episode of this is like visiting a dying friend in hospice. This is a series of shows I once loved that's now come to its finality. It's
Not
end.
not
And
only
now
is
we're
it
hearing, by the way, we're hearing that season 2 of Starfleet Academy may drop later this year in December as a way to end it. But Alan,
let me just say that you mentioned a dying person in hospice, and one that is trying to stay alive in the most embarrassing ways possible.
right. Well, there's two plot lines. One, they bring in this instructor to tell the main characters
Therapize.
about theater as a form of therapy to get over their trauma, which I don't know, I feel like you could take every plot of Starfleet Academy, and if you'd done it in the next gen era, would have been handled wonderfully by better writers. It's handled in a terrible way because it's not as if theater, fiction, music was not a part of the culture of Star Trek. It was always present. So it's just written so badly. The other plot line is Sam going back to her homeworld because she's glitching so bad in the most embarrassing effects. Those effects, I laughed. We see the Sam character fall to the ground and she's like glitching. It looked like some cheesy effects from like if you had no money for effects. It looked terrible. And they take her back to her homeworld to meet what do they call them? The founders.
And who cares?
Who cares? Exactly. And they go back with Captain Aki and what's his name? Robert Picardo.
The doctor.
And that ends up in an embarrassing, like, I don't even know the layers of bad in this. Like, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. We're at that point. And the Sam character, what ends up, does anyone care about spoilers? Let's put up a spoiler warning. Do we have the spoiler warning? Put up a spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Warning. Okay. If you care about Starfleet Academy episode 8 spoilers, Now's your time to bow out. We gained people. I'm looking at the numbers. More people. No one's left. The Sam character, there's a way to save her from glitching, but it involves basically Robert Picardo being her father / mentor and raising her from birth so her previous self doesn't exist. That's the way I understood it.
Because time, the issue was time, because what a day is like 4 years. And
Right.
so the idea is that she needs to, in order to save her, they need to reset her as a baby, and then Robert Picardo raises her to teenage years,
Yes.
and then she can come back to Starfleet.
Yeah, they basically need to take Sam, turn her off, and turn her on again.
Yeah.
They reboot her.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb that they even have a hologram character that is going to Starfleet Academy. She could just Matrix-like download everything into her brain.
Yeah,
This
which she
makes-
does in the beginning of the show.
It doesn't make any sense to have a character. I can see it being a side character, like a character that could be a professor. There was a missed opportunity to have, you could have Riker on this show as a hologram version of himself as an instructor. That would have been better than choices they made here. So you've got these two plot lines that intersect. In the end, Sam returns from her journey and hugs everyone. How does she know them? She's a rebooted version. The version of her that was from before no longer exists.
No, they explained, and I don't know how you could have missed it.
I know how. I didn't care.
Yeah, but
Go on.
they said
Did I
that
miss
she would have
something?
both memories of her raising him raising her,
Oh,
and her time at Starfleet.
I thought they said that the old version of her
Yeah,
would die.
I know.
Oh my God.
I
I look, okay, done with the spoiler thing. You don't care. I don't know what to say anymore, but this is an embarrassment. If this is what, and we had Jim Agnew on, screenwriter, producer, watch that interview from Wednesday. He basically told us that starting in 2016, for the last decade, the entire makeup of the WGA became Starfleet Academy. The kinds of characters you see on Starfleet Academy, that is now, they stopped hiring. We can finally say it because he was told, you're white, we're not hiring white men. That's it. And by doing that, they got rid of the people who could have mentored up and coming writers to learn the business, learn the craft, learn the history, learn about screenwriting. And you've got children with less experience doing these shows. And guess what? It shows. It's terrible. I can't believe I'm going to see it through to the end. But this is painful, folks. This is painful for me as a person who loves Star Trek, like original series, next gen. Like I just, this is painful. Yeah. Alan, what do you think?
Yeah, this is painful for Chris. So please like, share, subscribe.
Oh God.
Star Trek was once a vision of the future. Starfleet Academy is the vision of the present, but with cooler toys, cooler tech toys, and I would even challenge the cool part of that. I mean, ultimately, the question is, who is this meant for? Who are they making this for? And I think the original Star Trek, yeah, it was sci-fi that had a limited audience, but I think it was shooting big, or shooting broad, trying to reach a large group of people, and it did. This one wants to narrow it down to a specific group of people. So this Starfleet Academy show, these 2 seasons that we're about to see, it's mentioned in one of the comments. This show is made for theater kids. And that's it, because I can guarantee you, outside of the influencer space and the theater space, kids A, are not watching this, and B, repulsed by it,
Yeah.
because it is just so dumb that even they understand that they're being pandered to. And many that, my daughter and others have said that they are not interested in this whatsoever. The biggest problem I have with this specific episode, though, is how you deal with trauma. Let's just remove the fact that this is supposed to be a military type school, and that maybe trauma is the thing you need to deal with, or you're going to experience on a recurrent basis. But the idea that the whole thrust of this theater thing is that we're going to do therapy without them knowing they're going through therapy, which I have a really big problem with. If kids should not be suckered or tricked or manipulated into therapy. They need to get to a point where they need therapy. Why? Because then they're at a position where they can do things to work through their trauma. But this, I mean, the original Star Trek used to have scientific consultants. This Star Trek, I don't believe, uses a single consultant. Not even one that deals with teen trauma or PTSD. I think they just sit there thinking, oh, here's how I think we should now deal with trauma in the future. And let's do theater. Let's reenact our town and solve everybody's problems. There's a moment where that's challenged, which I appreciated, but the result of, and this is why I don't trust this show. They ask some really good questions, especially from the Tamira character, but the answers I think are just misguided and sometimes dangerous. So this show, I fear for the safety of the audience of this show. Let's just put it that way.
Well, the intended audience, I feel like the intended audience doesn't exist in the numbers that would make this show successful. They have taken, not all young people are like this. That is the writers of the show. That is the characters in this show. Not all young people are like this. They are pandering to the fringes of losers in life, and not people who you can aspire to be or who are part of the way on that journey. And it's depressing and sad for me. And at this point, we might as well see it through to the end.
The bothersome thing for me is these kids experienced what anyone who was part of the past Star Trek could have experienced had they gone on an away mission. And the fact that they didn't have anybody on board at that time to deal with trauma like that, and that they have to bring in a theater arts teacher to do that. I mean, come on. I mean, it just shows you the Federation is lost. There's no hope that the Federation will survive whatever challenge they're going to meet next. Nosferatu, or whatever your name is, have at it. It's yours. You can easily overcome them. You can easily beat them.